Shalom Aleichem, Na'aleh viewers. Welcome to another shir in Maseches Brachos. Today's shir is dedicated Lilu Nishmas Rachalea Bas Reb Chaim Tzvi. We're continuing in the Gemara Brachos. We're on Daf Tesvav Amud Aleph. We're up to the Mishnah in the middle of Daf Tesvav Amud Aleph. A new Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, HaKoirei Shma V'lo Yishmi'a La'ozno Yotza. If a person recites Kriya Shma and he reads all the words of Shema, but he does not pronounce the words audibly so that he hears it with his own ears, the Tanakama holds he's Yotzei. He fulfills the requirement of reciting the Shema. He read the words of Shema even though he didn't read it loud enough to hear the words himself. Nevertheless, he's Yotzei. Rabbi Yossi Omer lo yotza. Rabbi Yossi argues with the Tanakama, and Rabbi Yossi says that if a person reads Kriya Shema and he's unable to hear what he's reading, he didn't pronounce the words loud enough to hear the words, he's not Yotzei the mitzvah of reciting the Shema. The Gemara is going to elaborate on what's the inyan of this machlokes. What is this about? That's the first din though in the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah further another halacha. Kara v'loy diktek b'yosi yoseha. If let's say an individual reads the Shema, but he did not pronounce the words precisely, exactly, he didn't enunciate the words clearly, Rabbi Yossi Yomer Yotza. Rabbi Yossi says he's Yotzei. Rabbi Yehuda Omer lo yatsa. And Rabbi Yehuda argues and holds that this individual is not Yotzei Kriya Shema. Says the Mishnah further, HaKoirei lemafreya. If an individual reads the Shema out of order, lo yatsa, he's not Yotzei. Everyone agrees you're not Yotzei. You have to read it in the proper order because Kriya Shema has to be read kiksava. It has to be read the way it was written in the Torah. If, however, you read and you made a mistake, you skipped a word, you have to go back to the place where you skipped the word. You go back and you read on from there. In terms of the halacha, lo yotza, so we mentioned that the Rambam Shita is that that's only if you read within the same parsha, the psukim out of order, then you're not yotzei. But if you read the parshiyos out of order, the Rambam Shita is that you are yotzei. That's not considered a chisaron. That's not a lack in terms of kiksava. That's not considered not reading it the way it's written in the Torah. As long as within the same parsha, the psukim were read in the proper sequence, in the proper order, you fulfilled the din of kiksava. The din of Akerel Mafreya, Lo Yotza, is if you read the psukim within the particular parasha of Shema out of order. But the paragraphs could be read out of order according to the Rambam. So now the Gemara will discuss the machlokes between the Tanakama and Rabbi Yossi. We had in the Mishnah, the opening din, the Mishnah states halacha that if a person read Shema, but he didn't hear the words, HaKoirei Shma v'lo yishmi eliyazna, he read Shema, but he was unable to hear the words of Shema. According to the Tanakama, he's Yotzei, he fulfills the mitzvah of reciting Shema, whereas according to Rabbi Yossi, he's not Yotzei. Says the Gemara, my time with Rabbi Yossi. What's the svar of Rabbi Yossi? What's the reason why he holds you're not Yotzei? Says the Gemara, Mishum Dechsiv Shema. It says in the pasuk Shema, you should hear, and Rabbi Yossi interprets, what does it mean? Shema hashmeya lioznecha ma she'ata moitzi mipicha. That you have to pronounce the words loud enough that you hear the words. It has to be words that were enunciated audibly. Your ears have to hear what you're saying. And therefore Rabbi Yossi says, if you don't hear the words, you're not Yotzei. The Tanakama Savar, says the Gemara, what about the Tanakama? The Tanakama holds you are Yotzei. Why? It says in the pasuk Shema, So the Gemara answers, V'Tanakama Savar, but the Tanakama holds, Shma b'chol loshen she'atei shemeya. The Tanakama tells us that the word Shema was written in the Torah to teach us not that you have to hear, but rather you can recite Kriya Shema in any language that you understand. But you don't need to hear the words. Shema teaches us you have to understand the Shema. And Kriya Shema can be recited b'chol loshen. Says the Gemara of Rabbi Yossi, how does Rabbi Yossi know this halacha? You can recite Shema in any language because you have to understand what you're saying. So my answer is Tarti Shema Mina. According to Rabbi Yossi, we learn out two things. We learn out both from the word Shema that you have to hear the words, and we also learn out B'chol loshen she'atei shemeya.